Today on Real Talk, we meet up with David Clark, a member of the Georgia House of Representatives, to play some golf at the Back Nine in Woodstock, Georgia. Then we'll head back to the studio and talk about his time in local government and in the Special Forces.
David.
What's up, Cameron?
What's up, man? It's great to meet you.
Yeah, you too, man.
This has been a long time coming. Listen, I love golf. I think you love golf too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Try to set this thing up. You're definitely dressed a lot better for golf than I am.
Look it. I'm not sure if I'm going to play that way.
I do like a hybrid. I'm like, I kind of care, but I've played golf before kind of look. That's my thing. But it's like getting really hot outside.
Oh, yeah.
The weather's not great, so I'm excited that we get to do this in air conditioning. This is like our home field now, so.
And at least we're not sweating and all that.
Exactly, yeah.
I like it.
I mean, we may not get the fun that you get in the golf carts, because I like to cut a couple donuts here and there, but.
Oh, yeah.
You know, only on public courses, I'm not crazy.
I love it, man. Haven't done it in a setting like this, but
okay.
This is cool.
I think we're just gonna go in hot. I don't think we're taking any practice swings. We're just gonna turn it loose. So I'm just gonna kind of let you go first and tell me some stuff, dude. So, when did you go into the military the first time?
So I joined out of high school
back
in 2006.
2006?
And served 6 years, deployed and all that, went to Ranger School. And then actually, so I got 6 brothers and 3 sisters. So it's 10 kids total in the family. Yeah. And so I joined.
You're used to just being in a squad.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, growing up with 6 brothers, I mean, it was always, best friends, but we'd go at it. But me and the middle boys, me, Luke and Micah, I joined, and then the other 2 joined right after me, and we all served and all that. I got out in 2012.
Oh yeah?
After 6 years. So I was in the infantry. So my 2 brothers did the same thing and all that. And when we were deployed, we all deployed. My mom was a praying woman.
Gotta be.
And then I joked with her when deploying. I was like, hey mom, do you have 10 kids? What's one? She's like, that's not funny. And then all of a sudden I got 3 kids now, and it's like, okay.
I think it's kind of funny. We've all seen Saving Private Ryan, which should be good. Oh, come on, give me that. +2, okay. Is it gonna give it to me? Okay, good.
Yeah, they did.
All right. I guess we're both 2 up.
All right, do you want to kick this one off?
I think it's on you.
Oh, is it on me? Okay. All right, let's go.
So is he on a team?
Come on.
Skip! Ah, that water's heavy. Tree.
Come on.
Ah, I'd play it. I don't think they're gonna give it to me. Okay, now we gotta aim a little bit, I think. Uh-oh. Hey, I'm looking pretty good. I'll take it.
It's not bad.
I don't know if you're gonna want that, but it's hard to hit off the deck.
I'm gonna see where they put me.
I think you're in the water?
Yeah, I'm in the water.
Let's see. So you downplayed a little bit. You tell me you're infantry, but then you tell me you're Green Beret. How was that journey?
Yeah. So in 2019 I came back in.
Right. Skill.
What am I? I should have done a iron. I'm doing iron. 2019, almost. So I'll tell you. So 2015, almost came back in.
Right.
In the military. Remember when that big terrorist attack happened in France?
I do.
I was driving down to Auburn with my brother. One of my brothers, he went to Auburn, and we're going down there for a game. And that attack just happened. I was like, you know what? I'm going back up. I was like,
Well, you're going.
I was like, screw this. I was like, this terrorist attack, I'm going back in. So I went in there. I was just about to sign the contract, and for some reason, I was like, I can't do it. I don't know. Someone told me I can't do it. So, anyways, decided not to, and then two and a half months later, I met my now wife.
Oh, cool.
And her dad, Brandon Beach, who was the state senator for a lot of Cherokee, Alpharetta, Milton, all that. Anyways, now he's the treasurer of the United States. Got appointed by Trump, but he, somebody invited me to his debate, and I met him like twice. He was in the Senate, I was in the House.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll go. And I was driving out from Gwinnett to Canton, the courthouse. I was running late, rush hour traffic, and I was like, I pulled in a gas station. I'm like, I'm gonna go home. Why am I going to this debate? Why did I even say yes to his aid? And anyways, in the end, I decided just to show up. I showed up a little bit late, slid in the back of the courthouse. Every time his opponent would attack him, his daughter would yell, "That's a lie!" And I was like, man, I like this
from the
sass,
seats. Let's go.
And I always say she's sassy but classy, but also she was hot.
Yeah, it works out.
And
yeah.
I go up to Brandon after the debate, and I said, "Hey, Brandon," it was like, "Great debate." He goes, "Thanks." He goes, "Are you married?" I was like, "No, sir." He goes, "Are you single?" I was like, "Yes, sir." And he goes, "Have you met my daughter?" And I was like, "No. Do you have a daughter?" And
oh no, it was that one.
it was love at first sight. I knew the moment I laid eyes on her, I was going to marry this girl. And then 6 months later, we got engaged. 6 months after that, we got married, and 3 kids later now. So we got Madison,
That's quick.
Miles,
Y'all
and
don't
Maverick.
mess around. Y'all straight to the point.
Oh yeah. But then in 2019, it was every day I thought about joining back up. Because none of my buddies went Special Forces. I almost did it before I got out. And for some reason, I got out after 6 years. But I came back in 2019, last 7 years serving in the Special Forces 20th Group, and just finishing my time up this past January. So 13 years total, and it's just tough because I was doing that, serving in the House. I think I'm probably the first ever elected to be elected and go through the Q course.
Still actively going?
Yeah, it was a lot to juggle.
I was going to ask that.
Last 7 years, juggling being in the state Congress, working, 3 kids, wife, all that. It's a lot.
I'd say so.
But then at the same time, I would not take anything back because it grew me as a man. I think being in politics, then going back in the military, being up at Fort Bragg, being with your team, kind of regrounding yourself of like, why do you do what you do?
Right.
In politics and life, what do you fight for?
It's true.
So I love doing that. Getting away with the boys, everyday Americans, and hearing how they look at government, how they feel like they don't have a voice, fired me up for even more fighting for truth, transparency, accountability, anti-corruption. So
I like that. Sometimes you just got to remind yourself of your own why.
Oh yeah. I've always known who I was, but it put a whole new fire inside my soul of like never selling out.
Right.
Because I always say this too though. On selling out though, I always say, people say power corrupts, right? We always hear that.
Right.
Somebody goes into politics, they have a good heart, but I don't think power corrupts. Power exposes who you are. Because if you know who you are, same way as our founding fathers.
Right.
And go look at like Nathan Hale, right?
Right.
The guy who was hung as a spy for George Washington. And he was 21 years old. He had gone to Yale. He was young, not married. I'm sure he wanted to be married, have kids, had dreams. And before he got hung, he's like, I regret to have but one life to give my country. I think that's what we got to get back to as a nation is like, are we living for ourselves? Or are we living for our nation, our community, and for the future? And so
that's true.
I think when you know why you fight and your values, you're not going to shift on them. I think it's just we've got so much more now in America where people live for themselves. They act like they're going to live forever. When it's like, dude, you can be dead tomorrow. So I think we just need to get back to that as a nation. And if we do that, we're going to fix everything.
We're green.
I'm on.
We're looking good. There was something I was going to ask right before. Trying to figure where I was at. How far out am I? Let's see, 282. I don't know.
It was definitely a tough double. Juggling Special Forces and being in the State House, because like you'd be gone and they'd be like, "Hey, where you at?" And you'd be like, "Oh, just doing National Guard stuff."
Right.
But you're in 20th Group, which I never even told anybody publicly, doing the Special Forces.
Right.
And so even when I launched my lieutenant governor's race, and coming out, talking about being a Green Beret and all that, people are like, wait, you were serving in the Special Forces? Because it's tough to understand, like you're in politics, right? But then you have 20th Group and 19th Group, which are under the umbrella of the Guard, but they're attached to 1st Special Forces Group out of Fort Bragg.
Right.
So juggling both, you'd be gone and all that, and they'd be like, hey, where you at?
That's weird.
So, it's definitely a lot to juggle because, I never put it out publicly because when you're on...
It's like having two completely separate responsibilities that you're contracted to.
Yeah, exactly. And
oh, wow.
You're not going to put that out there like publicly, I'm in the Special Forces because, do you don't want to jeopardize stuff, jeopardize doing, stuff with your team and all that. And so, keeping that quiet.
But also...
while juggling both.
I've been in some units. Did the guys kind of razz you a little bit about having to go do fancy politics stuff?
Not really. I mean,
were they more inquisitive because they're like they wanted to kind of see
definitely.
what you do, how to get into it?
They actually loved it more. I mean,
cool.
as they got to,
All right, heads up.
Know what I did.
Right. Well, I think that's neat. The guys, I'm gonna have a lot of questions if one of my boys is up there in the Capitol. Like, I got some questions. You know what I mean? What kind of stuff would they ask?
I mean, asking, is it as corrupt as do you see on TV and here?
Yeah. That's all they really had was like, is it as crazy?
There's that, asking like what it's like, behind the scenes, I mean, they liked it. I mean, even the cadre. But what would shock them is I didn't talk about it, going through, but then they start finding out.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, oh man, you're a state Congress? What are you doing here? Because I mean, even for the psych interviews, sometimes they pick you randomly, but I mean, a lot of times it's your background.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I got pulled in during selection, and he was like, hey, what are you doing here? He's like, I see that you serve in state Congress, you served 6 years, you've been out for 7, like, why are you coming back in? Oh, I got almost interrogated. And I was like, look,
what were they leery of? Or I mean, probably they were just wondering why would you do that?
Yeah, why would you?
Yeah.
Is there a reason why you're doing this? Like, I just wondered also, like, did somebody get a hold of you, maybe on a foreign adversary? I don't know.
Yeah, are you here to look at our tactics of training? Are you here to look,
what are you doing? Because you're a
us?
state congressman, you have a good,
right.
job in the private sector, and now you're coming back in for what? And I told him, I was like, look.
Great question.
I said, I'm not going to get any younger. I was like, I love my country. I was like, forgotten country till the day I die. And he was like, oh, okay. And we started talking. And then that's when also the BLM riots was going on.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't have our phones. And he's like, hey, he goes, and then after we started talking, he started opening up. And he goes, hey, America's on fire. He's like, maybe your own city. And I was like, what are you talking about, man? And he started telling me. I was like, because no one knew what was going on. Because those riots were breaking out all over the U.S. And anyways, he updates me. I'm like, wait, what's going on in America? But
it's interesting.
But yeah. But I mean, after that, got selected and all that. But he definitely quizzed me. Just why am I here?
I think I would have the same.
He started getting into my finances, my credit.
Well, that's a bit much,
and I was like,
understandable.
I was like, my credit's almost perfect. My wife's is, I was like, no, I just want to serve my country again.
He's like, you look too good for this. Something's up. Am I in trouble? Is the IRS coming for me?
I was so afraid because he was quizzing me so much. I was like, man, am I not going to get selected? Because that's all I want to do.
Yeah.
But no, I passed it, got selected, donned the Green Beret, and loved it.
that they have, that's probably a weird one for them too. Oh, that's a good shot. Come on. None of them go as far as you want them to. It's crazy.
No, it's tough with the screen.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to gauge.
It's true. Well, hey man, I'll chip out of these woods the best I can, but honestly, you want to head back to the studio and talk about some more deeper stuff?
Do it, man.
Thanks, man. This has been a lot of fun, and we're gonna finish this game, but we're gonna get out of here.
Let's do it, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for watching. Before we jump into the interview, if you're enjoying this episode, make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and the notification bell so you don't miss any future episodes. And if you or anyone you know has a great story that they want to share on RealTOC, make sure you go into the description, click the link, and fill out the form. Thanks.
Yeah, this guy, his name was Brent Hitchcock. Great friend of mine. Miss him. But he graduated like cum laude at Georgia Tech. Taught himself Farsi. Just an E5. He didn't want any rank. He didn't want any responsibility. Had a Bronze Star for lighting up a hill and calling for fire. Light up a hill with a Mark 19. Just mowed down like 10 guys. All at the same time, he was on the radio calling for fire and air support and stuff. Damn. He got a pretty big medal for that one, but
and y'all served together?
Yeah. We were there in Afghanistan together. And at the same time, he was also writing for a magazine. He was doing music articles. That was 2012.
Nice. Okay.
So he was writing for magazines.
What part of Afghanistan?
We were in Logar.
Okay, yeah, nice.
We traveled a little bit. We did some air missions. We'd go outside of bed and Maiden Shar, but primarily we stuck around Puli Lam. Every now and then we would go to do like a training exercise in Bath.
Nice,
We
yeah.
hated it. I hated it so much.
Yeah, we did. We were
I hated being in the big city.
Coast, Pakistan border, all along there, and then
Yeah.
over in Ghazni.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, Ghazni. Dude,
We-
we got in so many firefights.
Well,
Dude, that was crazy.
for a while, I was the one dude that had some college. So my colonel was like, "You ever done S2?" And I was like, "No, sir." He's like, "Do you know how to work a PowerPoint?" I was like, "Yes, sir." And he was like, "Cool. You're going to be my new S2 sergeant. You're going to be the briefing for at least." I think I did like a 3-month stint. I hated every minute of it. But once I finished my 3-month stint, because I was the first S2 sergeant when we got in country, and then I rotated out. Another guy came in and took over, which now I get to be my real job, which was, lead truck saw gunner.
Yeah.
But it was good to have me out in the front because I already knew majority of the reports.
Did you have a saw and 240 or just saw?
We had everything. I just had the saw. My gunner had a 240. I think the second truck had a 50. Third truck 240.
Dude, we started mounting like
50, and then we had
started
crows in the back in the 6 o'clock.
We started mounting with the machine guns. We'd have 50 cal, 240 or 240 saw.
Yeah, we had everything except the Mark 19. They wouldn't let us. They're like, no.
Dude, the Mark 19. We were heading out of the gates, and I was usually a team leader, like dismount, but like a gunner hit an ID, and so I was replacing them, and we roll out, and he goes, "Hey, we need to test the Mark 19." He's like, "Just test it, off in the mountains." And I was like, "Oh, sure." And all of a sudden, they hit a pothole as I pulled the trigger, Mark 19, and then I slipped. Anyways, we hit. I was like, "Whoa!" And I slipped. And anyways, dude, I just shot like I don't know how many over the mountaintop, and then I was like, "Oh damn, there's a city over there." He goes, "Is it shooting good?" I'm like, "Yeah, good to go, man."
It's straight.
I didn't say anything.
It's good.
I'm like, we might have just created some more Taliban.
Nah, I just hit a desk pop. Everybody's got to knock one off every now and then. It gets it going. Well, all right. So, now let's get into it. Why don't we, huh? David, what's up, man? So we hit the links. We hit about 2 holes. I don't know if we made it fully 2 holes.
I don't think we did.
That thing's harder than it looks.
It is.
Golf, you can kind of figure it out. Go find your ball, hit it again.
And
Play
especially
into the screen stuff.
With like a screen, trying to judge the distance, especially the putting.
Yeah, that takes time.
Yeah.
Yeah, Craig and them are getting good at it, but he's the guy that has the whole subscription over there. So
Okay, that's why.
it's like home field advantage.
And he has the cheat sheet, He
yeah,
understands.
he knows the courses. He knows how to play the screen.
I'm definitely gonna go back out there and play again.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of fun because we played like a 2-on-2 scramble, and I think we played a full like 9, and it was really fun. Once you figure it out and get it like dialed into how you want the settings or whatever, it's a lot
Wait,
of
so
fun.
a place like that, can you bring your own beer and all that, like on the
Yeah,
golf
so
course?
what we do is we go right next door to Sideline.
Yeah.
We put an order in. We start the game. They call, let us know the order is ready. We go over there, pick up the food. We come over and eat and drink while we're playing golf.
That's cool. Okay, nice.
It's air conditioned. You play your own music. It's the future of golf.
And especially during the summer, it's nice.
Yeah, it's pretty smoking outside right now. It's hot.
Oh yeah.
What a wave. Where are you from originally?
So born and raised Gwinnett County.
Gwinnett County.
Yeah,
Born
so
and raised.
Swanee. Yeah. Grew up till I was 12 years old on a small farm. So we had horses, goats, cows, chickens.
Oh, right on.
And yeah, I loved it. And then after that, my parents moved to Beaufort on Lake Lanier.
Oh, cool.
So and it's nice growing up on the farm, even though Gwinnett, you don't have any farms, you don't have
Right.
that in Gwinnett County. But it was awesome growing up there. We grew a lot of our own fruits and vegetables, all that. We'd kill our own chickens, fresh meat, goat meat.
You sound like you're
Cows,
from my neck of the woods. That's how we got down.
So
In the middle of Gwinnett, though. Today, that's unthinkable.
Oh yeah. When I was traveling, because ran for lieutenant governor, and I'm traveling down to South rural Georgia, and growing up in a farm in Swanee, they're like Gwinnett County. I was like,
promise. Swear to God, that was a real thing.
Yep.
Well, what was the transition like? Because my parents are now retired, and I'm curious if they're going to move away from that lifestyle. And you said that they just moved to the lake. Was that after retirement? Or was that a decision? Or
No, that was a decision. They just moved to move on the
they're
lake
just like,
and all
we're done
that.
with the animals?
Yeah.
Done with the gardens and the craziness?
And then I mean we were all still semi young. I mean I was 12. You know,
That's
oldest
cool.
brother was.
That's a cool time to move.
I think
too.
like 19 or something.
Yeah.
So I mean it's perfect. And then growing up on the lake, I mean that was awesome too. Going out there wakeboarding and tubing and skiing and just
Jealous.
swimming all summer.
No kidding.
Fishing, all that.
If you had a boat, if your family had a boat and you lived on the lake, you were the coolest kid in school. Like no one could step to you.
Oh yeah, no, it was a blast. I mean, because we came from like no money, no nothing, didn't go on vacation, really didn't go out to eat when we were younger, and then my parents kind of they got their first house they bought was on Lake Lanier,
Wow.
so they were renting before.
No way.
Yeah, so
Gwinnett County.
yeah, Gwinnett County.
Yeah, that's how it
So,
goes.
but I mean, it was good coming from that of not having much anything. We'd go to Goodwill,
Right.
as we got our clothes, all that until they got like their 40s and they have done pretty well.
Yeah. Yeah, I do remember. Well, you got 10 brothers and sisters,
Yeah.
right? Well, 9. There's 10 of you all together.
So 6 brothers, 3 sisters.
Oh
So
my gosh.
7 boys, 3 girls.
That had to be the party house.
Oh,
You
yeah.
probably didn't
Oh,
do
yeah.
a whole lot of partying. I don't know how strict your
But
parents were.
it was wild. I mean,
but that had to be the place where
Yeah.
everyone was. If we
Oh,
were
yeah.
at we were going to go to the lake.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
it was a blast. And then now I got 23 nieces and nephews.
Oh my gosh.
So big family.
Y'all got to like gather at like convention centers and stuff for
yeah.
family.
Oh yeah, and if you come, like how we are, like you meet my 6 brothers, my 3 sisters. I mean, people will come there, especially if you don't have other siblings. You know, like we go at each other in a good competitive way. But
Yeah.
even my sisters hold their own.
I bet.
And I remember when I brought my wife now, but at the time we were dating, dude, she was kind of shocked. She was like, "Wait, are y'all about to fight? You know, fist fight?" And it's like,
maybe.
well, sometimes
Maybe.
maybe. But she had to get used to it because I mean, just how all of us are.
Probably is a
Go-getters.
culture shock.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
used to a quiet home. If you're, my kids, she's an
Oh,
only
yeah.
child. So it's like, yeah, if she dropped in the middle of like 10 kids in one house, she'd be like, this
Oh, yeah.
is
And
a
then
lot.
the nieces and nephews come over.
Oh, my God.
They're fighting and wrestling.
Y'all
Me and
like-
my brothers challenging each other. You know, there's a pecking order, right?
Y'all filled up the lake.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
God, y'all probably got like calls from other people on the lake, like they're at it again. They're fighting in the
Probably
middle of
so.
the lake.
We did do some paintball in the woods because my parents owned the land across the street where they have the dock, and we go play paintball growing up in there. And one time, some paintballs went astray, hit somebody's house.
Yeah, that inevitably.
And they all got mad at us like
Yeah.
we meant to, and it was like, no, we go clean it off.
We almost killed the pediatrician's kid in my hometown when I was in like the 7th grade.
Really?
We had BB gun fights. Like we went outside and we played Army. We played it for real.
Yep.
And we shot my friend right in the eye, right below his eyelid. And we were like, oh my God, we almost blinded the pediatrician's kid. Anyways, he went on to Georgia Tech. He's doing just
there
fine.
you go.
He's killing it.
we used to make like bows and arrows and all that and like shoot each other with them.
Yeah.
I mean, looking back now, hindsight, it was stupid. But nobody lost an eyeball.
I think
All
it gave us
okay.
character.
Yeah, I think it did too.
Oh, I got no big beef with the generation on their iPads and stuff because my daughter's already smarter than me. It's insane.
Yep.
But I do wish that sometimes that she would just have to like endure like a normal summer from the 90s
Yep.
and see what that would be like.
I mean, because I think people need experience, especially kids, like getting outdoors,
Yeah.
Getting hurt, getting scraped up, I mean, it doesn't kill you. It toughens you up, I think.
Speaking of tough, you say that you and multiple of your brothers are military.
Yep.
So do you come from a lineage of military? Is like military in your family? Or is
Yeah.
that just something that your brothers were like, well, we already beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah, no.
Might as well go do it for a cause.
We go back, generations. I mean,
Really?
my
Yeah.
great-grandfather, my grandmother served on Korea, my uncle and all that. So, we go back generations serving. And then when I got out of high school, I was like, I'm going to join up.
That was just your only thought? You're in the middle of high school,
Oh, yeah.
you're a senior, and you're like, I'm going to the
Oh
Army.
yeah, but I mean, it wasn't my family served. I mean, a lot of times it's because your family served. It was just the moment my mom, so 10 of us, so she homeschooled half of us all the way through.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, taught us all how to read and all that. The moment she taught me how to read, I got my hand on every single history book.
Really?
Like, I love reading about America, the founding fathers, and the wars and all that. And from a young age, I mean, it just was a fire in my soul. I don't know, because you go read about the sacrifice in those, I think I mentioned when we were playing golf, Nathan Hell, who 21 years old, gets hung as a spy and says, I regret that I have but one life to give for my country. I don't know, it fires me up. Not that we want to die, but like, if he's willing to do that, and I read that at a young age, I'm like, then why am I not willing to do the same thing? Not that I want to, but you don't have a nation unless you have men who are willing to step up and go put their life on the line.
That. I became a reader. I think I became a reader after college. I mean, I was an English literature guy. So I think that reading became kind of a chore, became a check the box. I got to knock off this reading for tonight and go on. And it wasn't an enjoyable experience for me. But what I did find after I got out of school was documentaries. I will just watch documentary after documentary. Oh, yeah. And now there's some stuff on like Netflix and other streaming platforms right now where they're showing like American history, American Revolution, stuff you didn't really learn about, stuff that you didn't maybe know completely.
Which is kind of sad because they're not teaching it in schools like they should, because if you get a real upbringing, like my mom, like what she made us read and all that was the good, the bad, the ugly. Mm-hmm. When people talk about, they're trying to hide the ugly. No, real education that has been taught in a lot of ways. I don't care what people say. No, you knew the good, the bad, the ugly. You just realized when you read it all, you realize it's the greatest nation on the face of the earth.
It was a long, crazy experiment.
Yeah,
it was still going on. The funny part about it is, in school, everybody knows who chopped down the cherry tree.
Yep.
But we don't know who fired the first shot in Lexington and Concord. It's like there's things about our own American history that even we are like, I don't even know how that started. I don't even know how we became a thing.
But I think when they want to do that, because they want to make, it's just the truth, they want to make more things about negativity instead of the positive. I mean, you go research the world, and I read history books, not just America, all over the world, and you look at every country, every civilization, they all had their same problems. America's not unique. Mm-hmm. Even on slavery, anything, every country had it. And it's like, but what you look at is America's the only one that's truly fixed a lot of the problems. I'm always striving for better. And I think if we just realize that, that's what would make our country just flourish again.
Let's go ahead and get deep.
Yeah.
So we were talking a little bit earlier about local politics, local, elections and things like that. Do you think that a lot of the local administrators specifically handpick certain educational programs? Is that too big?
No, I think in a lot of ways that's absolutely the truth.
How so? Like how is our education system basically not manipulated, but put together in a way to express?
Yeah, I mean, what's happening too often now is, you can call activists, whatever you want to say, but like people have their agendas, and so their beliefs, how they want to shift things, and so I mean you can see that throughout history, and I think we have lost education in a massive way. People who have come in,
I think that shows in just basically statistics.
Oh, 100%. I mean, you can go talk to high schoolers now, and I'll go bring up basic stuff, basic history, and they go, "Who's that? Who's that?" I'm like, "What are you being taught?" And it's not just the good, it's the good, the bad, the ugly. Because when you go research that, it makes you excited for the nation that you have. I believe. I mean, you can look at our founding fathers, the absolute overwhelming majority and the colonies were all against slavery. It's a fact. Now they wanted all 13 colonies to be in unity to go against the British. But they decided to not totally outright ban it, but even Thomas Jefferson, right, who wrote the Declaration of Independence. The first that they're going to send over to King George was
the first draft.
The first draft was to say we're separating because of slavery. Mm-hmm. Is that crazy? And most people don't even realize that.
Why was it left out, you think?
Well, then they pulled back because, again, they went all 13 colonies. They didn't feel like they could do it with just 12 colonies or 11 colonies. Mm-hmm. And so they're like, okay, we'll handle that later. But overwhelmingly, they were against it. Benjamin Franklin was the first. I mean, he led the movement and created a group, to abolish slavery. So that people don't realize this is like the overwhelming of our founding fathers in our country was against it. But again, I think it comes to the point of us as men. Are you willing to trust God and maybe not have everybody join because you're going to trust God that He'll come through? And I think sometimes men can just, go, I don't know, man, but we need a few extra men, in this battle.
Right.
And so we'll handle that later. But if you understand that, then you realize, is America perfect? No. But we've always been striving towards that. Even Thomas Jefferson, again, he had slaves, right? But he wrote in his journal, the most evil sin is slavery. But then you have to wonder, but he had slaves. But then you have to wonder, we're all human, and we all mess up. We all have a past. And so it's not about just judging the past. It's why don't we make today better, right? And we struggle with that internal thing of doing the right thing when nobody's looking, right? Today in politics, are we going to do the right thing, or are we going to sell out? So anyway, but if you look back at them and you realize what they fought for in the Civil War to end slavery, the first country in the world to ever fight a war over slavery. How cool is that? The first nation to ban the slave trade, and the third country in the world to ban slavery. Of all races, of all countries. That's America, right? And it's like, how can you not love that? When I'm not saying we don't have our past, but then you go look at. I'm going to one thing, kind of tiptoe on this. Go look at the Civil War, right? Mm-hmm. You go look. Have you seen the movie The Free State of Jones?
Yes.
True story.
Yep.
And that was in Mississippi, right? Mm-hmm. And they mutinized Confederate soldiers. They said, why are we fighting for these elitist plantation owners? It's kind of like what's happening in D.C., right? You and I went and fought for our country, served our country. None of us are saying that we believe in everything we did, but our country called us. We don't call the shots. We don't call the wars,
that's
right?
That's my job. That's what I signed up for.
That's our job. But we fought with honor. We loved our country, willing to give our life for this country. Same thing when they separated. People say it's state rights. No, big time. It was slavery with the elitist plantation owners who wanted their way of life. Kind of like you have the elitists in D.C. And when they mutinized and took over a big chunk of Mississippi, they called it the Free State of Jones. Said that all men are created equal. And so you have to realize a lot of those guys went and fought and died for what? Their farms. They didn't fight for slavery. 94% never owned slaves. So I think we got to be willing to sit down even today's age and stop pointing fingers and sit down and just have real discussions. Because it's so easy to divide and call each other racist and haters and all this when it's like maybe more of us are alike and on the same page, and we have these elitists who are or politicians who are dividing us. So, I think that's the problem. And if we have more discussions on history, on life, on failures, on things we messed up on, and not always condemn each other, I think we can fix a lot.
I don't know how successful it would be, but I think that there needs to be a podcast called Let's Look It Up.
Yeah.
Because the majority of all conversations go awry because someone goes, I don't trust that fact. I don't trust that you're saying it. I don't trust this. That didn't happen. That wasn't real. And it would be really cool if we started in the middle of a conversation and we're like, hey, pull up the clip of the thing that was said. Yeah, see, so that's real. So now where do we go from here? It's like one of those things. It's like as soon as you show statistics or show these things, and it's heading somewhere, as soon as you show these statistics or some sort of facts to people, they question the validity.
Think about this one. And some people need to dig into. And I've thought about if I had one lieutenant governor, the bigger platform you have to have a platform to really bring people together, have these discussions. Let's look it up or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
But go look at like Andrew Jackson, right? The Trail of Tears and all this stuff. It was wrong. In no way am I supporting it, but you got to think about this. When the War of 1812, he was sent out west, or out, how far out west we were at that time. But we had these treaties with the Indians. They thought that they could side with the British, and they saw this war being an advantage for them. They went in this one town. The men were gone fighting. They massacred and raped and scalped every single woman and child. Everyone dead. Mm-hmm. And Jackson comes there with his men. He sees this is blood, right? What would that do to you and I? It's women and children. He was fuming. And you got to think about when he became president and all this. Should he have done that? No. But here's my thing: when you judge the past, when it's like, okay, there were treaties broken on both sides. It's not just one thing, right? And I'm not saying war is terrible. People sin. People do wrong. It doesn't mean you get revenge. But at the same time, we're human beings. And it's like, what would you have done?
Right.
I want revenge. If you come to my state house district and you come and rape and kill women and children, I don't care if they're black, yellow, white, brown, David Clark, and I think you too, Cameron, we'll go into war.
Problems.
Somebody's going to pay. And maybe I overstep a little too much, but I'm going to get revenge for my people. And so, do you know what I'm saying? I think we need to look at history and just as a whole and have discussions. And it's not wiping it clean and saying, oh, it never happened, but it's like having discussions because we're all human.
Yeah.
And you can't just judge America when every other country's done bad things too, but I think America's done more good. We could have taken over the world after the Second World War because we had the nuclear bomb, We could have taken over the world. We've never been bloodthirsty for conquering. If we had, we would have taken over the entire world in one click. Just done.
I think people drastically underestimate the strength of our military power.
No, 100%.
Like, you have no clue. They have no clue if they're like, oh, we couldn't handle if we went to war with this country, or this one would wipe us off the map. I'm like, you have no clue.
Dude, right now we would destroy any country in the world. It's like America is not bloodthirsty. And it's like, I think we need to stop feeling guilty for who we are as a country and actually look at our past and learn our history. And when you do, the good, the bad, the ugly, it should fire you up to love your country, but also to always strive for better.
Speaking on loving your country, you love your state. What is the difference in state representation as opposed to what everyone else sees on their media is national representation?
Yep.
What are the responsibilities of someone that's a representative of the state of Georgia?
So I'll say this is one thing that people get wrong all the time.
Okay.
Is they're always following DC politics.
Yeah.
Like that's what matters.
Yeah.
When very few things pass
They
in
just watch big
Congress
leagues.
in DC. I mean, there's gridlock, there's arguing, stuff barely gets done, right? I mean, just look at it.
Right.
But people don't realize at the state level, it's 10 times more affecting your life and impactful than anything that happens in DC.
Yeah, because we're the United States of America.
Yeah.
There's a lot of states' rights.
Most of the laws, most of everything that happens to you and affects you is at the state level.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, taxes, regulations, all kinds of stuff. And now there's not problems at the federal level. And that's what I tell people all the time. Like, stop looking at DC all the time and get involved in your own state, in your own city, your own county, because what's happening, and even at your city level, in your county level, is massively affecting you.
Yeah, we are one nation. But we're actually 50 nations put together, all on one piece of land, just divided by boundaries.
The founding fathers meant for the states to have the ultimate and most of the power. And then very few powers are supposed to be at the federal government, which they've overstepped that in many ways, and that needs to be reined back in. But yeah, I mean, the state level, state Congress is really, affects people's lives every year because we go into session for 3 months. The bills, the budget, everything we pass, affects you right away.
And that's what's interesting to me is we're also hyper-focused on the top. We're also hyper-focused on the three branches of the federal government, voting, campaigning, what's going on, scandals, everything that's going on there. But people don't realize that the most closely affected is your state representatives.
Yep.
So I wonder, how does one get elected to a state representation? Because majority of people don't even know why they voted for the person that they voted for Congress or Senate. They just saw that name recognition, face recognition. I know that person. That's good. That's a dangerous slope because now we have politicians that basically only want to be clickbait. They want to go out and say the most outlandish thing that they know is not true, but it's going to be the thing that gets them some spotlight, and spotlight's going to get you the votes, and the votes get you to continue your job serving the country or serving yourself and your own interests, regardless. How does one get elected in a smaller sector like a state thing? Because how many votes would normally come in a landslide? For a candidate, one candidate over other for a state representative.
I mean, like a primary.
In general.
Say a primary. It can be. It's like 5,000 to 7,000. Even though you have 60,000 voters in there, it can be like 5,000 to 7,000. It's wild of who turns out.
Razor thin margins.
Yeah, of who turns out. And then a general election, 17 to 20,000. But still, it's
There's
low.
So many more in the state.
Then you wonder, why we have these problems. You don't have enough people engaging in those civic duties to get out there and get to know who their elected are. That's what I tell people. I'm like, don't just click on a video that sounds good. Go research them. Go listen to them. It's like, a lot of times too is if you go sit in a room, you really listen to them, you can pick up if it's sound bites or it's coming from the heart. But today's age, it's viral moments, saying stuff that goes viral. And I was pushed to do some big time political red meat, type. And I'm like, I'm not going to say something that I have to walk back from my primary to the general election.
I'm not going to say it just to get my name on the paper.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'd rather lose because I'm going to be able to look at my wife, my kids, my friends and be like, that's who I am, and not somebody who's just saying this political rhetoric just to get in there.
I come from a pretty contentious county in terms of political landscape over the history of my county. So I see some crazy things happen for elections. And I just wonder, is it still kind of old school? Put the signs out, put your moniker on at the bank, buy an ad at the nearest football game this year.
No.
Is it still kind of that level, or is it a lot more TikTok driven towards people that are looking at state representatives? Because 17 to 20,000 is a small number for millions that live in this whole state. That's crazy.
I mean, it's changing. And statewide, I think it was 1 million plus who turned out to vote,
Okay.
But, I mean, I think it's become easier for everyday Georgians to run, actually. Because it used to be, back in the day, if you control the newspapers, you had the money, how you can get out. Now you have social media. Like, you're this podcast, right? You can give people a platform. They come sit there and talk about who they are, you know what I'm saying? Their ideas. So actually, it's made it easier in a way, but at the same time created more problems because now anybody can get on a mic and just start spewing stuff.
Well, you can't. It's harder to bankroll media when you got all the answers in your pocket right now.
Yep.
I mean, used to, we would turn on the news and let them tell us what's going on.
But I mean, I think it's better. I mean, I think it's why I did so well.
I think as much as people want to say that we're more divided than ever, I think that's because that we are more connected than ever. Because people are seeing these things. And a lot of the crap that you see on social media, especially during campaign time frames, is a lot of people saying outlandish things on purpose. Just to get a click, just to get another follower, just to get a hate comment. People literally fish for hate comments because the comment count gets you paid.
But I do believe this, though. And I've traveled the whole state, did that for 9 months straight, like 6 days a week. I do believe this, though. We're in an age and a time, especially with like millennials and Gen Z. Come 2028, the majority of the vote will be millennials and Gen Z. So time's coming. There's going to be a shift. But I do believe people more than ever, they want somebody who's genuine, who's authentic, who's real, and is not just trying to say one-liners. So I really do think that people are absolutely hungry for that. I mean, I've seen that.
So I'm a sports fan.
Yeah.
Do you think that this is going to, and I'm a firm believer in the sense that competition drives perfection. So, or standards at least, drives the standards. So do you think with all of these answers in our pocket and people craving someone with authenticity and realness, is this driving the political climate to raise the standards on what we expect from our elected officials, or raising the standards on what we want in policies? I mean, or do those things kind of go hand in hand?
I think it's hand in hand.
Yeah.
Both. I think it's do enough people step up, like, enough new podcasts, you know what I'm saying, that are not just clickbait, but are willing to find the truth, right? To dig it up.
Right.
Because I always say, like, truth rises to the top. Like, the truth will, right? If you put it out there, people will start, going, oh, wait, hold on. And now with social media, you can go with ChatGPT, all kinds of things now. It's easier to find out stuff, right? To go, hey, is this true? Give me a background. And not that you don't need to go verify it. It can still mess up.
Right.
But I think it's ripe for, and I believe like even America's future is bright, because I think people are starting to wake up. I think people are starting to want to seek the truth more. They want authenticity, and so I think when you have more people rising up, whether it's politicians, new podcasts that are not just clickbait, but they actually want to dig into the truth.
Yeah,
I think we have every chance to bring ourselves back together. Because
I'd like. I
don't think we're as divided. I really don't believe that.
I don't know. I think that we're told we are.
Exactly, because
we're told we are. So
I've been
we just kind of
12 years in the state house, and besides, they're all activists. And it could be on both sides. I mean, people who just...
there's plenty of both siders.
I mean, they have an agenda, they're biased and all that. But I can't tell you how many, if not 99% of all my talks, just everyday Georgians, whether Democrats, Republicans, Independents, Libertarians, you sit down and talk and just trade stories about your life and all that, you realize you have way more in common than not in common.
And you have similar goals.
Yeah.
You may be taking different steps to get there, but you have similar ideas. And I think that we're losing that bipartisanship on any level, state, local, anything, because we agree on a lot more than we disagree 100%.
On. But I think one of the biggest things is I think it was back in 2018, 2019. It was like, I don't know. I mean, I could be up a few, but it was like 11% of those elected in Congress, out of 435 members, and were veterans. And I think that's a problem too.
7%.
Yeah, like 7 or 11%. Somewhere. I mean, it was so low. It was the lowest it had been since
Ballpark it to 9.5.
the early 1900s. I mean, isn't that wild?
Well,
or sometime in the 1900s, but it had been decades.
it makes sense, but it's also, I don't know that it's disheartening. It is eye-opening for sure, because I think that we've gotten away from the draft. I think we've gotten away from some of the other big wars. And there's a lot of people that never had to join the military. Yep. In a very specific
I think we have
bracket.
enough veterans. It's just like, it's you don't have enough who are stepping up, and people also now see politics as a stepping stone for a career.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like, it used to be almost everyone, presidents, everything, they had all done something, serving,
right.
militia, way back in the day, our founding fathers, they all were willing to put their lives on the line. And I feel like now you have this majority of people who are elected who be like, give me liberty or give me death, and they just say these lines that they read in the history books, or I regret that I have but one life to give my country. I mean, I had one opponent who was like, you got to be willing to take a bullet. He never served ever in his life. And it's like, hold on, it's easy to say these lines, but when you are willing to put your uniform on, go serve your country, you still got to prove yourself that you have character, but like, you live for something bigger than yourselves. And I think too is like, you and I went and served. We never served to protect conservatives, or liberals. We just went to fight for America.
That did my job.
Exactly.
I do wonder, and that's an interesting stat, somewhere between about north of 7% of the 435 are veterans. I do want to know the stats on how many of them obtained a law degree, like a doctor. Yep. Because I think that the landscape has shifted from having had public service and now having we definitely ran down an education system. Everyone had to go to school. If you're going to be anything in life, you got to get as much school as absolutely possible. Yep. And I wonder how many of them are, kind of bypassed their service and went to big law schools, went to big programs, and went to big law firms to learn a craft, to understand stuff. Do you think that's a
I think that's part of it too. But I just think it's just we've got to a time in our country, and we got to wake it up. People live for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's for themselves. I mean, I've seen some who even would be veterans, but even here in Georgia, who joined up to put veteran on their resume, checked a box. It wasn't to go serve. They just, and I know it for a fact, and then they go run on, hey, I'm a veteran.
Okay.
Just for politics. And it's like, that's where we're getting away from it. But I always tell people this. I think this is a problem with our country right now is, and I tell young people this all the time, this is a problem with politics. Imagine high school, the biggest assholes, narcissistic, stuck-up boys and girls in high school. Imagine where they go. Politics. You can still be that wolf in sheep clothing, right? You can go, have the power, the influence. Mm-hmm. So, I think the problem is we've lost our moral compass.
Do you think that, I think that people are getting into politics now because that's the new celebrity.
Yeah, 100%.
These people have more power, influence, and money than whatever the top earners were for movies this year, for music. These people have massive appeal.
Oh yeah,
and they're only growing and growing and growing, and it's basically the only way that you can get elected in the House of Representatives or anywhere else is name recognition.
And there's a lot of people who don't have, true, like life work experience. There's. This isn't a get in because I'm Republican, but it's just a fact. It's a problem, and they're Republicans too. But there's one, like John Ossoff. Nothing against. He does a great job as a U.S. senator. Outwardly, he does plays the game, but never had a job his entire life. How do you fight for the poor and those who have nothing? Your family had a Martha's Vineyard, a house up there. You had a jet. You had all this. You never had a real job in your life, and now you're making decisions whether to send guys like us who served our country and went to combat. And do you know what I'm saying? You never signed the back of a paycheck. You've never grinded having to work.
You've never been responsible for the employment of others.
They were also Republicans too. Yeah. So, and it's just like, that's the problem though. So I think we have too many people who are running. And that's why I encourage people all the time. And even coming back in and doing the special forces, last 7 years, telling all those guys is like, hey, when your time's up, don't be that silent professional, right? Do that in the job, but then you got to come fight inside your country. If it's worth fighting for outside, it has to be worth fighting for inside. And I think a lot of us who are veterans, whether special operations or anything, we do a job and we just go retire and just go enjoy life. And it's like, no, we've got to let that fire keep burning in our souls and go serve in politics. I believe. I believe.
You think a lot of people have seen too much?
Yeah.
You think that's what it is? When they're just done with it, they're just done playing the games. They're done doing this. They're just like, I don't even care anymore. None of it matters. You think a large portion of that? That's disheartening.
Yeah.
It was very true. I mean, it happened to not only me in my past, but a lot of other people. I was just like, I don't even care anymore. Yep. Like, what's it all for? And the reason I ask you that is because we talked about it a little bit earlier, and you alluded to the game a little bit earlier. What are some shocking things that people would not be shocked to understand is how the game is being played at whatever level it is that you want to see? Because you've seen some interesting things.
Yeah. You've
been, I'm sure, offered things. You've voted for or against some things that were meaningful. What is the game? Because, I mean, we see the red versus blue, we see Republican versus Democrat, liberals and conservatives, and we have this huge cabal of just madness and insanity, when I think, unbeknownst to all of us, there's an entire game being played on us. In some instances, it feels that way.
I mean, I think the biggest, though, is something you never see.
Right.
Again, it's unique men and women who run, who love transparency, accountability, hate corruption, right? And who are not going to sell out, And I mean, I think we talked about it when we were golfing, but power doesn't corrupt. Power exposes who you are.
Right.
And it's like...
It reveals character.
It does. And I mean, I think a lot of what's happening in our country is the backroom deals. Stuff you will never see. And it's like, I mean, that's what I tell people all the time. Like, you don't just look at a voting record.
Right.
Who votes the most conservative or who votes the most liberal, whatever it is, right? Either party. It's who are you behind closed doors? And we need people who knows that one day they stand for God. I mean, you look at our founding fathers, good, bad, the ugly. They all knew that life was short, especially back in the day. I mean, the average age, what was it, like 30 or something?
No, 27. They would be in the middle of serving office. All of our laws were written by a bunch of drunk 30s.
I mean,
it's crazy.
I mean, you didn't live to 50, 60, 70. Benjamin Franklin was like one in whatever the number was, because he was like 80 or something, or 70, right?
Yeah, he got his money's worth.
I mean, he did, but most people live into the 30s or something.
Yeah.
And they passed away, so they realized life was short. And I think today, people just think they're going to live forever.
It's true.
And it's like...
I mean, with the advancements of, modern medicine and technology, it's really screwing with people's brains. Because people that we grew up with were like, 60, 70's old. You're getting into an age bracket to where you need to settle down, man. Look after yourself. But like younger people today are looking at all these advancements in medical technology, and they're going, man, 80 don't seem that bad. 90 don't seem that bad. So I think that they're living for today because they're like, I got the whole rest of my life to go. Which is a crazy concept.
And I think you have to have, though, we've got a country where it's like, even Christians, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I go to church, check the box, this and that. But it's like, are you living all in? You know what I'm saying?
True.
Do you live to love your God, love others, do the right thing? Because you could look back like, and this is a problem with the nation, I blame it on men. Because men decide if you have peace or violence in the world.
True.
So I always call them out because I'm a man and we can do that.
Yeah.
But it's like, go look at the Titanic. And I think this is one of the easiest ways to say, wow, country's a nation in decay. When the Titanic was going down, you had some of the richest men in America on that boat. And what'd they do? Put their finest clothes on, stood there like men, let the women and children get on the lifeboats, and they died like men. Today, this for a fact, that the majority of men today, and especially if they were like, they'd be billionaires today and all that, right? They'd be like, oh no, I'm a CEO of $1 billion company. I've got to get on that lifeboat. They depend on me, right?
Right.
And no, they were men. Did they want to die? Hell no. When you and I were overseas, we never signed up in the military to go die. We don't want to die. Like, I like to live. I got dreams. But it's like, but you're willing to do it because you live for something bigger than yourselves. And we used to have a nation full of men like that. And not that we didn't have some bad men and people who are evil and corrupt, but overwhelmingly it was men who were willing to die on moral high grounds. They're willing to draw a line in the sand and say, I'm a man. I'm going to die like a man. I'm going to do the right thing. And I think we got to get that back. And I think it starts with men, though, in this nation.
That's true.
Are you going to serve others, lay your life down? Because, I mean, I know this. Like, the core of who I am, I tell people all the time, like, it's not, I'm a Republican, I'm a conservative. It's, go look at the Bible. And it talks about how it's better to hang a millstone around your neck than to hurt a child. Not but that as a woman, somebody weaker. And it's like, if that's what burns in your soul, to fight and be a voice for those who have no voice and stand up, then you're going to know what's right to do. I mean, what's right at any moment. I believe. And we got to get back to that. I'm going to raise my sons to be absolute savages, alpha males, absolute men, but have a teddy bear heart.
Yeah.
And if you have that, that fixes America and it fixes the world.
Yeah, I used to have a different exterior. I just kind of grew into myself. You talk about having a teddy bear heart. A lot of things hit me, and I was like, I got to change some things. But you were talking about all that, and it reminded me of my buddy, BT. I remember we were on our way to Afghanistan, and I said, I'm ready to die. And he goes, well, that's cool and all, but he's like, are you ready for your buddy to die for you? And I was like, that's pretty heavy. I don't think I had thought about that. And the only other answer that you can give is yes, or you're not ready to go outside the wire. It's like, I trust him. We're ready to go. And I ask that because when you talk about going into politics and doing, public service, where we talk about good dudes will do great things, right? We talk about the fact that you need to have your morals and you need to stand before God and stand before yourself and be able to answer for the things that you're voting for. So do you think a lot of those people get into the system and the only way to stay in the system is to kind of give a little bit with the program and then you're kind of hooked?
Yep.
How does that, you think that I'm sure you've seen it 100%,
happen. Because you come in and you get these
Everyone
titles.
has great intentions.
Yeah. Overall.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say everyone.
I'm going to give it a lot of benefit.
But
You're
a
right.
lot. Or a majority, I think.
Yeah.
But I think is what happens, you come in, you get the title, and you love it. I mean, especially even in the state house, state Congress. I mean, you got lobbyists take you out for the finest steaks, finest whiskey, finest wine. I mean, they pay for it all. So, you enjoy it. And then when these tough moments come and they know they have to take a stand, they're like, but I enjoy this title. Mm-hmm. And then if I call out so-and-so, I could lose everything. And I think that's the problem. I mean, I remember, my big thing, in politics was in 2019, I got a chairmanship. I was 2 terms into serving in the House. And I got a chairmanship. The Speaker gave it to me. And when you're a chairman, you preside over a committee. You go to chairman dinners, lunches. It's kind of a big deal. You're in leadership. Right. And about a month and a half after getting my chairmanship, it came out in the AJC that the former Speaker of the House had changed a 100-year law in 2005. And this was the former Speaker, not the current Speaker. And he had changed the law to allow attorneys in the House and the Senate to use continuances all year long, not just during session. Because for 100 years, you could push your court cases for 100 years to after session, which makes sense because for 3 months, it's like 24/7. Mm-hmm. But he changed it all year long, and he was representing and protecting pedophiles, rapists, domestic abusers in his law practice. And every time these cases would come up, he would just send a letter the day of court, and simply all he had to say was, I'm busy doing people's business. And the judge had to push the court case. So it came in the AJC, there was this girl named Haley. She was 11, had been raped, and now had day in court and was 10 years because he was using continuances for the rapist. And so he was running the case cold, but he was getting paid.
Wow.
Yeah, and I remember we had just had Madison, me and my wife. We got 3 kids, Madison, Miles, and Maverick, but Madison was just born, and if you have a little girl, do you know how it is? Like, that's daddy's girl.
Yep.
Somebody touches her, somebody's going to die.
Yep.
And I remember I was like, man, what if that was my girl? And I couldn't sleep for like 3 nights. And I was like, I have to call him out. And I went into his office, and I told him, I was like, hey, Mr. Speaker, I said, I love you. Jesus loves you. Thank you for my chairmanship, my committees. I was like, but what came out of the agency is wrong. I said, because we all run in politics saying we're going to fight for you and your families as if you're my own. And who am I as a man to stay silent? I said, because if that was my little girl who'd been raped and I had day in court and it was 10 years, I'm going to be honest, I'm going to kill you and the rapist. And so I have to call you out. I called him out, lost my chairmanship, lost all my committees. And then 2022 was the redrawing of all the districts statewide. Mm-hmm. And I was gone with the Green Berets for 12 weeks, off the grid, no phone. My wife was pregnant with Miles, I was second. I gave her a power of attorney. She qualified me in the new redrawn district. And I ran against the woman who redrew all the districts for Georgia. She was the majority caucus chair. And I beat her 60-40, came back a week before the election, boots on the ground. They spent $1 million. I was outspent 18-1.
Yeah.
But it's tough because when you do this type of stands, it was the right thing. And all the voters outwardly, right? Y'all would agree with me. But the machine, they were like, well, he's the Speaker of the House. You shouldn't call him out. He's been here for like 12 years. I'm like, but it's wrong. I tried to ask a bunch of my colleagues. I was like, but if that was your daughter, what would you do? I'd be mad. I'm like, well, then, I believe this. Any decision you make, if you put your wife and your kids in that decision, say, what if that was my daughter? What if that was my wife or my sons? And if it angers you, you know it's right. You know it's the right thing to do.
Right.
I guess I tell people all the time, like, I don't care about skin color. I don't care if you're black, yellow, white, brown. We can have all blacks running America, all whites, it doesn't matter if they're willing to do the right thing. Because we can all imagine when people talk about, well, you haven't lived my past. I think it's total BS.
Right.
Because if I imagine my wife not getting justice with my daughter, or my wife getting discriminated against, and it makes me angry, then I know what's the right thing to do is you stand up for those who have no voice. You stand against discrimination. You stand against corruption.
So aside from getting voted out, aside from getting dethroned, aside from the obvious things, what does that do to the dynamic? Once people realize that you're a person that calls out moral issues, once you're a person that doesn't just fall in line and do what everyone else is doing, does that mess up your legislative abilities to get in the right rooms? Where you said all the biggest stuff is in the back rooms. Does that basically take your keys away from the back rooms?
It can. I mean, I was in the doghouse for about 4 years.
So then it's hard to work with you.
Yeah, nobody would talk with you, and then he passed away at the end of 22, which was such a relief. I mean, I prayed for his soul.
Right.
But
I get what you're saying.
He passed away. But I mean, I think also what I've learned is you can stand for what's right, and you can still get stuff done. Because I mean, I took that stand. I paid for it for a number of years. But then he passed away. I was still able to keep relationships because again, you can't take stuff personal.
Right.
And so I remember after he passed away, a bunch of my colleagues called because now everybody's scrambling for different positions, and they're calling me for my vote.
Oh boy,
for leadership.
Right.
And I remember I could have been angry because they trashed me during that election. I got nothing in my closet. They made up all kinds of stuff, saying I was corrupt and all this stuff, and I've never done anything in my life. And I remember they called me. I said, "Hey, look, I just want you to know, clean slate. I understand politics is politics. He was the Speaker of the House. I know you donated tens of thousands of dollars against me, but I hold nothing against you. Let's move forward and let's do big things for Georgia." So I think too is, do you take that personal, or do you see the big picture? And I learned a lot of that coming in 2019, doing the Special Forces. Is because it used to be more like Ranger lead the way, violence of action, just take names, stand, do or die. But the Green Berets and my faith just growing, you realize it's not about winning every battle; it's win the war, and it's not about you, And so there's a balance of standing for transparency, standing against corruption, picking your battles. Also building relationships where you can, and you can get stuff done. Because after he passed away, I mean, I bounced back. I mean, nobody held anything against me. And I mean, I've got a bunch of legislation done, got big things done, because I never took it personal.
Yeah.
So I think it's that balance. You can do both, just like, we're talking about, having truth with compassion.
Right.
If you can have that balance of standing for what's right no matter what, but always having a compassionate heart on how you articulate your words, you can bridge that gap, I think.
Speaking of balance, where do you find the ability to balance your legislative responsibility and then also your service responsibility? Because serving can kind of be a conflict sometimes. What are some hurdles that you've had to tackle?
Like in politics and in the military?
Yeah, being in the house and protecting the house.
I'll say, I mean, from 2019 to just getting out this past January, I don't even remember the last 7 years. Such a blur.
I feel like it was you probably had so much on your plate, you barely ate.
Yeah. No, I don't know, because you'd be in session, and then, I mean, also the same time, the last 7 years, you go through selection, go through the Q course, you're with your team, and you got session January to April, then you're off with your boys, throughout the year. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was crazy. Then I have 3 kids now. It was tough. I mean, I probably wouldn't do it again because, I mean, literally, it was a blur trying to juggle all that.
I wonder, did you get more questions?
But it made me a better man. I mean,
it had to have.
Such a better man. I mean,
you might have been a little more tired, but you got a lot done for your life.
But it taught me a lot. I mean, of balancing stuff, balancing life, balancing family. I mean, I still balance family. It's just less hobbies, barely playing golf, which I love golf, but last 7 years, barely played any. So it's just balance.
Was your service and the unit you were part of, was that ever a topic of discussion with other representatives? Were they ever curious how you managed to balance those things. I'm sure that the dudes back in your unit and all the guys that you served with, they probably had some funny questions about having to, do what you do. But I'm curious what the other legislators thought.
I didn't talk much about it.
They probably didn't want to ask.
Not until I launched my lieutenant governor's race. I didn't post it. I didn't post it on social media. I didn't put it, I just had, veteran, as if I served when I served my first contract. I didn't really talk about it. They just be, hey, where you at? Oh, just got some, some training, some drills,
Yeah, they're just like, oh, he's gone this week.
Yeah, that's all I said.
Yeah, they probably want to mess with you.
That's right. But I look back. I'm glad I did it.
Well, I would hope so.
Yeah.
Would you have done something a little differently? Like, clearly you figured out a way to balance, and you took it upon yourself to act morally.
I would have done it my first contract when I was single and all that. Because it's just easier to juggle all that. Especially in special operations and the special forces.
You probably wouldn't even have had a house. You probably just would have just stayed at the barracks.
Oh, I would have.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I did it. I look back, because I was telling you, I almost joined the special forces actually my first contract and then multiple times even right after I got out. But I think God always plays out your future. You just listen to him, hands open, palms open, just let him put what he wants for you in your life. Because I look back now and it's like, I'm glad it played out the way it did. I met my wife.
Right.
I've still accomplished everything I've wanted to do. And I think it happened at the right time to where it grew me times 1,000. Because coming back in the military and doing politics, I can tell you this, I will never, ever change the day I take my last breath on doing the right thing, standing my convictions, just because I served in politics with a lot of influence and power, technically, and then serving in uniform with the boys is a beautiful combination, I think, of helping you be grounded in who you are, and why you fight.
I agree. I like the fact that you talk about transparency and accountability, and we have some similar views on some things where some of it's just bullshit, right? And some of it is having to play the game, and some of it is being forced to play the game. So there's a bunch of different stuff that goes into politics the same way. There's a lot that goes into understanding what makes the military tick.
Yep.
But with that mindset, it's almost as if we're in a bit of a minority. You're either very right, very left, something in the middle. You understand a lot of things, almost as if you understand too many things about the game, it kind of ruins it for you. So I guess my question is, where do you see yourself going from here? I would hope that you want to attain more, political advancement and moving onward and doing different cool, fun things with different campaigns or different, cabinets and things like that. But what do you really aspire to be from having started where you started, done what you've done, having the balance, proving yourself to be moral and all these kind of things? Where are you going?
Really, wherever God has me. Tomorrow's not promised. So, I think in the moment, doing the best you can, having the impact you can, and then whatever God does. I don't believe He's done with me. I think it's just the beginning.
Yeah. Really?
In politics and fighting and where I'm going. I know my convictions, I guess, is what it is times 1,000. I know why I fight. I got 3 young kids. I look at my little boys, and there's another major war coming, sometime in the future. And it's like, it could be my sons. You see our country so divided. And it's like, our country needs people who step up. So, if another opening happens, I see myself, running again.
Well, that's good. So it's hard to nail down aspirations, but it's easy to say, I'm open. Yep. I want to do what I'm called to do. If you call me to do this thing, I'm going to give it everything I got. So I think that's a solid way to look at it. So I ask you this, we got some time left. How would you go about getting voters more involved in state or local politics as opposed to the one big flashy federal thing? So how do you get more involvement?
Yeah. I think it's, really what it is.
Well, because that's clearly, there's huge decisions that people don't even recognize are much more benefiting them and or holding them back from their state level than all the federal stuff that's going on all the time.
It's just getting amongst the people. Too many politicians, they just go raise a bunch of money, a lot of times put themselves on TV, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Mail pieces, all this stuff, right? Just to try to get their name ID out there and just win. I think also is even after you win, are you just staying in your seat to be comfortable? Or is your whole goal to go out there and just love on people, win hearts and minds, and sit down and have open discussions? I know when I was running for lieutenant governor, came up short, but you would have seen me the following year, you thought I'm campaigning every year, traveling the state, sitting down with whether it's, veteran town halls, whether it's, young people sitting down, college campus, tours, town halls just for everyday Georgians. I think there's a disconnect of politicians that get elected and they go, oh, well, I'm elected. I'm a congressman. I'm a whatever, senator. When it's like, no, actually, you're nothing because this is America. It's a republic.
You're a vote.
Yeah. And your bosses are the people. And so, I think when you get back to that, it's people getting out there and grinding. If I go run for something else, I go run for Congress. You're not going to just see me up in D.C. You're going to see me when I'm not working up there, down here, just having town halls and kicking it, and not shying away from questions. I tell people all the time, I'm an open book. You can ask me any question underneath the sun. And I'm not saying I know everything, because anybody who says they know everything's a liar. But I'll go find that. I'll go find the answer to that. So I think that's what it takes, just sitting down and having discussions.
I think it is. So that's
and I will tell you this: I go win and go higher in a bigger position in the future. You're seeing me on podcasts all the time. I come back on this podcast,
love that,
because the whole thing is it's not about you. It's how can you do as much outreach, not just you, but partner with other people to have discussions,
right? To
have forums. I think something I love to do. I go higher, and I think I will to a lot bigger position. But it's then using your influence, because you have influence, right? To then go look at people, like what y'all are doing, saying, hey, how can we be more people to have discussions, open discussions, whether we agree with it or not,
right?
Because it makes us better.
Yeah.
Instead of having people who are pushing narratives, which I think there's a lot of influencers who are pushing narratives and clickbait.
Of course,
and it's not about the truth.
I think that's man, I don't know of a better phrase. That's like the glue of the division. The only thing holding the division together is people actively dividing it.
Yep. And I'll tell you this, I think it's one of our big problems too, and I wish we'd stop saying this, but we just need people who are more in the middle of the road, moderates. That's a lie too. And that's something we've let get into our minds, is nobody's a moderate.
Yeah.
Nobody's in the middle of the road. If you're talking about common sense,
right?
Somebody has compassion, somebody's willing to sit down and discuss and even agree, disagree, and hug after and go grab a beer, okay? But everybody has their passions.
Right.
It's
like taking those tests where it's strongly agree, strongly disagree. Yeah. No one ever goes with just agree.
No, because some people, there are passions you have and everyone has.
Yeah.
You all have some crazy passion.
Right.
Whatever it is, whether it's golf, your sports team, whatever it is, and it's like, okay, so all of us are extreme in some way, but then we have a lot of commonality too. But we have our passions.
Right.
And so I think when you stop talking about that, is we need to find somebody who's in the middle of the road where we all agree. No, we don't, because disagreement is what's beautiful.
Yeah, I got to fight for something. I'm not going to fight for the middle.
Yeah. The more we argue and debate things and sit down and discuss every single thing, it actually makes us better.
I agree.
What I was talking about, the two things that is killing, especially America, don't talk about religion, don't talk about politics at the dinner table, is the biggest lie on the face of the earth.
Yep.
You have to discuss these things. If it makes you uncomfortable, then have more of those discussions.
Yeah.
Because you should be able to do that.
Or just listen more.
Yeah, and listen.
Just listen more,
Keep
man.
your mouth shut.
Be inquisitive.
Yep.
I think that we're not enough. There's so many people that are attempting to drive agendas or drive this narrative or this ideology or these different things. People are so infatuated with getting the clicks, making sure that the base likes and comments and the haters keep hating and all that. It's such a pitiful algorithm that no one is sitting going, hey, how do you do this? What do you think about this? Oh, that's great. I didn't think about that. I think we haven't heard that type of discussion in a very long time. And you, having served in multiple facets for your state and for your country, I guess my last one would be, you've learned a lot in winning and losing in elections.
Yep.
What would be your advice to someone that is honestly interested in politics? How would be the best way to run a campaign other than, make money, meet the right people, do the things? What are some of the things that you saw within your own campaign that kind of maybe you probably would have done a little bit differently, aside from being outspent 18-1?
I just need the money. Yeah. I would say biggest thing in politics is be yourself. Just be yourself. People get in and they go, well, what things do I need to say?
Right.
It's if you're running, you should know why you're running. You should know what fires you up, what your passions are, what you like and dislike, and what are the problems that you see out there. Because I see people start to go, well, how does this line sound? Or something. I'm like, is it coming from your soul? Because I think if you're called to serve, like in the military, You just go join because you have a passion to serve your country, right? To give everything that you have, if that's what it calls. Same thing in politics is, tell people all the time, just be yourself. Get out there, be authentic, be real. Don't act like you know everything, and work hard. Get out there and just shake hands, love on people, and don't buy into different groups who try to pressure you one way or the other. Follow your heart. Because I would rather lose every time, or I'd rather lose in life and fail, but being true to myself.
True.
And I think people want that. I saw that. They would say I'm gonna get like 3%, and I was right there, almost made the runoff. Way less money, came in late, but I was just authentic. I was myself. I said, hey, this is who I am. You can like me or dislike me, but these are my beliefs, and this is why I'm running. And if you want to fight on somebody who go kick in the doors and stand up for women, children, those who have no voice, I'm your guy who hates corruption. So anyways, it's just being authentic and being real.
I'll give you one more and then we'll wrap and do cool stuff. I guess in conclusion, we talk about what's wrong with the country. We talk about division. We talk about clickbaits. We talk about power corrupting. You can get into a program and a program can corrupt you to the other side. There's a lot of things that are bad, and I feel like we focus on a lot of those things. What is something that we as Americans are doing right? And I don't think we hear it enough. The World Cup is showing us parts of ourselves, I think, that we forgot about. We forgot how good we are.
Yep.
So in your opinion, what is something that you think is going pretty right?
Going right. We have more freedoms than any other country in the world. You can still chase the American dream. I was talking to this guy who came from India, has become a good friend, and he came here with his shirt on his back and not a dollar in his pocket. And he's worth $100+ million. He's done that in 10 years. So it's like the American dream's not dead. So we need to realize we still live in the greatest country in the world. We do. And it's like we do have fixes. We do need to fix stuff. We do have, whether it's healthcare, affordability for housing, all that. It's definitely tougher. You know that.
Right.
Rent's not the same. But we still live in the greatest country. You still have more freedoms than any other country. You can still go do whatever the heck you want. You still have freedom of speech. And so I think you just look at what we have in this country: the good, the bad, the ugly. The good outweighs it every time. And I think you just need to get off social media, and just look around. And I think you realize how blessed you are. And also, I always say this: if you wake up and you're alive and kicking every day, it's an amazing day.
I think it works, yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so stay off social media, except if you're on RealTOC YouTube.
Or go follow me, on my social media. No.
Well, good. Yeah. Hey, man, you have to come back. Please come back.
No, I'd love to.
Because this is a really good, we just had a good conversation. And I think that's the tip of the iceberg. People just need to start somewhere. Yeah.
And I appreciate y'all doing a podcast like this. Just bringing people on, having open discussions.
Very cool.
It's what we need. And I believe if we do a lot more of this, I know that's a big fix to our problems in this country and in our communities.
It's one of those things that I hope that it takes like Novocaine. It's very slow, and then it just kind of hits, and you go, oh my God, we're all just talking. Yep. That's fun.
But that is what success is, and fixing problems is just sitting down and talking, and every day, one day at a time.
I love that.
So definitely. I appreciate it,
man,
Cameron.
we wanted to get you something before you get out of here. We work with a company called Gunner Gear. Gunner Gear is kind enough to give us some interesting, cool stuff, some little things that they send us, and we like to gift our guests some of these things. And this one is the Carbon Fiber Tactical Wallet Pro.
Well, I like that.
That's yours, man.
I appreciate it.
I'm kind of a wallet guy. I keep different clips and money clips and things like that. And we were like, hey, this one should work for him.
I've actually seen this online, but
I figured you had all the cool knives, and I gave one guy a laser pointer, and we got a stun gun and all kind of stuff. This. But can see some of those cool things too.
I like this, man. I appreciate it.
Right on, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, I will give you the last word, man.
I'll just say thank you for having me on the podcast. I loved it, and I'd love to come back in the future and just keep doing what y'all doing and having people on here, having open discussions. And I always say this is don't let sponsors, peer pressure, biasness get in the way of truth. If enough of us stand up, hold the line, and have open discussions, it's going to fix this country. So just don't ever sell out is all I I ask y'all to do.
Couldn't have said it better. David, thank you, brother.
appreciate
Thank you
it.
so much,
Thanks,
man.
Cameron. Yeah,
Can't wait to have you back. Man, that was cool. That was a lot of fun, man. Thank you for that.
Dude, I'm definitely going to use this.
Oh, score. Picked a good one.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.